and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Is there a backup for Biden 2024? No, there isn't. The Democrats and corporate media realize that he really has a hard time selling his image. I recently saw one of those Super Bowl ads where Biden was on air for about 30 seconds complaining about the size of chips or soft drinks or ice cream, junk food, and how small they're getting or how little we're getting from those big companies. And I think we all can agree that, yes, when you open up a bag of potato chips, mostly it's just air. You're not getting a full bag of potato chips, but the problem's bigger than that, okay? I don't know who greenlit that for Biden, but that didn't do him any favors, especially recently, last week, where he had his full-on exchange back and forth with corporate media, where he was defending himself, saying that he was still mentally competent, even though there was a special prosecutor that stated, well, Biden is a kind old man, but is not mentally fit to be on trial or be in a courtroom. So shout out to Case Study QB. I don't know how you sit through corporate media. I really don't. I really don't know how you're able to do it. Corporate media, Case Study, especially when you're sitting through all this corporate media stuff. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's go ahead and pull this up here, right here, for all you beautiful people to see. Hang on, folks.
Paul, it does not appear that the Democrats have a plan B, meaning an alternative to Biden should the pressure just be too much and he decide that he isn't going to run or maybe some other reason. Would it be wise to at least have some sort of backup plan?
No, he's running. By the way,
and recipe for disaster. Wouldn't it be wise to have a backup plan? No. It's always wise to have a backup plan. The answer is yes. Have a backup plan. This is how many great disasters happen in the long, sad history of humanity. In the long, sad histories of the rise and fall of many empires that have ruled over the earth. Maybe it's a good idea we have a backup plan. No, we don't. We're fine. Say it with me, folks, especially the people in back. What could possibly go wrong?
He's winning token opposition. Well, serious opposition. Dean Phillips is a good man.
He's losing in polls to Trump, though.
But he is. And so that's the alternative, right? He doesn't need Leidinger. He needs Henny Youngman, the old comedian. They asked him, how's your wife? He said, compared to what? Every sentence out of his mouth for 269 days needs to be, and Trump's a threat.
Trump. It's always about Trump. Everything's about Trump. Trump's a threat to this. Trump's a threat to that. Oh, hey, how come you're having a bad day? It's because of Donald Trump. Oh, I stubbed my toe. It's because of Donald Trump. Oh, man, I lost my wallet. It's because of Donald Trump. I got in a car accident. It's because of Donald Trump. My wife is cheating on me. It's because of Donald Trump. Trump. It's always Trump.
At the end. It's good. Happy birthday, Aunt Tilly. And Trump's a threat, right? Am I old? Yes, I'm old, but Trump's a threat. This is how Edwin Edwards, the corrupt governor of Louisiana, beat David Duke, the Klansman. He had a slogan that said, vote for the crook. It's important.
Right.
So
vote for the crook. It's important. Hey, the lesser of two evils, folks. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The lesser of two evils, you're still voting for evil. Hey, free world. What do you think about American democracy, eh? You got two old men fighting over a cold bowl of soup. By the way, want to pull up this article here from RT, just so all of you lovely, beautiful people could see this. Most Americans believe Biden and Trump too old to be president. All right. A large majority of U.S. voters believe 81-year-old President Joe Biden and his primary Republican rival, 77-year-old Donald Trump, are too elderly to serve another term in office. A new survey by ABC News and market research company has found. So according to the poll, which was conducted last week and involved a representative sample of 528 U.S. voters, 86% of respondents said Biden should not run for a second term because of his age. Of that number, 27 believed only Biden, who is already the oldest U.S. president in history, is too elderly, while 59% insisted that both he and former President Trump are too old. The Republican frontrunner was considered to be too old to run by 62% of respondents. Two old men fighting over a cold bowl of soup.
I say, win one for the geezer. Like he just needs to say Trump is worse. And most Americans, not just Democrats, think that's right. So nobody unites the people of Earth like a threat from Mars. And that's what he needs. He needs that external threat, which is
That's not how it works at all. The great external threat. That's something you see in Hollywood movies, in science fiction novels. The great external threat. No. That's not what unites people, okay? Because in theory, if that was it, then the great hey, just to bring up a historical example, there was the Bronze Age collapse, the many empires were falling, their infrastructure was falling apart, and there was, of course, the great attack by the sea people, which, these people who were coming over, attacking these nations as they were having crumbling infrastructure and so much more. Did those ancient kingdoms and kings rise up and unite against the sea people? No, they didn't, because they couldn't. So this whole idea that Trump being this great external threat to unite progressives and leftists and socialists and liberals and independents together, no, because I think we've all learned the hard way. When you unite with the Democratic Party, you're still going to get the jackboot on the neck.
Existential. That will make people then say, okay, they're not going to say he's young and vital. They're going to say, yeah, he's old, but the other guy's a threat to my Social Security, to my abortion rights, to my democracy.
Do you think that would be effective?
No, because people already think that, Jake. They already know that. The polling on this is baked in for the most part. They look at Donald Trump, and he's made some mistakes forgetting people's names, et cetera, Nikki Haley with Nancy Pelosi, but they see a far more vibrant individual. You see an individual, let's just take out the veracity of many of his claims that we've talked about many times on your program. But they see someone who can go on the stage in front of thousands of people for 2 and 3 hours without scripted, a piece of paper and some notes with a Sharpie, and can riff and energize his voters.
Right.
President Biden, unfortunately, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for the president, Paul, he's not capable of doing this. And I'll just say this. Think about our country. We're a warrior society. We won this country by fighting, blood, sweat, and tears. And we like leaders who are strong, showcase a level of strength. This guy has my back. He can do the job on day one. I'm not convinced, Jake, that many people look at President Biden, as much as we adore him and love him.
No, hey, speak for yourself. No one adores him or love him. No one does. Sorry. Hold on. Enough of this punditry crap, because hold on. Shout out to Hotspot. CNN finally admits Biden is capable of lying and do fact checks on his recent press conference. Remember that little meltdown that he had?
One thing that President Biden said is basically that he stored the documents in filing cabinets that could be locked. Let's listen.
All the stuff that was in my home was in filing cabinets that were either locked or able to be locked.
Daniel?
Just not true, John. This report from the special counsel includes photos. Those photos include shots of a box just sitting in President Biden's Delaware garage. The special counsel described it as a badly damaged box sitting amid household detritus. So there was some material that was in cabinets, locked or lockable, as the president said, but all of it certainly not. And that open, unsealed, damaged box included, according to the special counsel, highly sensitive, top secret material about the war in Afghanistan.
Okay, another claim.
So in other words, Biden can lie too, vote blue, no matter who.
That President Biden made. None of the documents were highly classified. Let's listen.
None of it was high classified. Didn't have any of that red stuff on it. You know what I mean? Around the corners? None of that.
Daniel?
That claim that he didn't have any material that was quote unquote high classified is also not true, John. The special counsel's report says that the president possessed multiple highly classified documents that were indeed marked as being highly classified documents, including some marked as top secret / SCI, sensitive compartmented information. That is a very high level of classification. For example, special counsel Hur discussed 2 top secret documents about Afghanistan found in that open, unsealed, damaged box in the garage, one of which Hur said contains highly sensitive info about military programs, and another that contains info about sensitive intelligence and sources and methods. Now, it's not clear, John, if any of those Biden documents had those colored borders we saw on classified docs.
Yes, everyone. I'm just as surprised as you are. I want to read this for a comment. Metal Music Sped Up says, CNN is actually reporting this? Apparently that's the case.
Former President Trump had, which I think is what President Biden was referring to when he talked about red around the corners. But still, whatever coloring these documents had, the special counsel says they were clearly marked as highly classified. And then I should add, Hur also said that investigators' analysis of Biden's own handwritten notes from his time as vice president showed that these notebooks also contained highly classified info, though those were not marked. And Hur said a sampling of 37 excerpts found that, quote, 8 are top secret with sensitive compartmented information, 7 of which include information concerning human intelligence sources, plus 6 others that were top secret.
And then the third claim that he made, Daniel, there was that he did not share classified information with a ghostwriter on a book he was working on. Listen to that.
I did not share classified information. I did not share it.
With your ghostwriter?
With my ghostwriter, I did not. Guarantee you did not.
But the special counsel said in the
no, I
report that he
did not say that.
I did not. Madness and insanity.
Okay.
He did not say that.
So he's entitled to.
So you know what? I might as well lie and say, yeah, I was part of special forces. Yeah, I actually ran for Senate and I won. I might as well say, yeah, I can do a perfect. I could play a perfect game of golf. I could play a perfect game of bowling. Never strike out. Always get a hole in one. For golf, hole in one. For bowling, perfect. Never get a single strike. Always get all the pins. Boom. That's it. We have a president, a senile old man who doesn't know what he's doing. I'm impressed that CNN is actually letting this fly. I'm actually impressed. I'm as surprised as all of you.
To say he didn't do it, he can defend himself, but he also said the special counsel didn't say that he did share that classified info with the ghostwriter. Except, John, the special counsel did say that explicitly. Hur wrote, quote, Mr. Biden shared information, including some classified information from those notebooks with his ghostwriter. So there it is in black and white. Now, Hur did elaborate that Biden shared classified info with the ghostwriter by reading nearly verbatim from the notebooks on at least 3 occasions, including notes from meetings in the Situation Room. He did find that Biden, quote, at times tried to avoid sharing classified info, like by skipping over certain material as he was reading them to the ghostwriter.
Good old Dan says, I did 18 in golf, 300 in bowling in the same day. I also never lie, and not ever, not even to make unfunny jokes. You know what? I believe you, Dan. And I want my audience to vote in on this too. Type 1 if you think, kid, Dan's telling a lie. There's no way anyone could do that. Not ever. Do an 18 golf and 300 bowling. I don't believe him. Type 2, no, kid. I do believe him. And I believe him too. And guess what? I'm going to use my super delegate vote and say I believe Dan. And I better see a whole lot of 2s there. Kurt Boss, that's right. That's right. Right there. There you go.
Writer, and Hur did write that the evidence does not show that Biden knew the info was classified. Nonetheless, even though the special counsel did clearly give him some material to defend himself with, this is not a factual defense. So he could cite the factual stuff, you know, Hur said, didn't know it was intentional, etc. But declaring the special counsel just did not say what he said, John, is not a factual defense.
Important to note, Daniel Dale, always great to have you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, all right. Great guys. Great guys. But hold on. How did the American people feel about all this? How do the American people feel?
But Democrats worry about the age issue already looming over President Biden's reelection bid. 76% of voters have major or moderate concerns about Biden not having the mental and physical health for a second term. That includes more than half of Democrats. But
yeah, and it sucks. We have a president who's struggling to recall events. Struggling, and this is painful to watch, okay? I know I have my criticisms of Biden, but a little bit of some compassion here. I know. Some compassion, some understanding here. Nobody's perfect, right? Nobody ever is. But I got to tell you, folks, Democrats, if this is your dog that you're willing to put the whole fight into, if this is your dog that you think that's got that bite, that fight in them, then okay. But you have to live with this. This is your decision, Democrats, not mine. You have to run with this. But he is 81 years old. He clearly has a hard time remembering things. He clearly has some other physical and mental issues impacting him. So anything can happen. And the fact that there's no backup plan, or dare I say it, there is potentially, there are some Democrats on the campaign trail, not publicly saying that they're running, but I think we know who they are. Democrats, you're betting on everything and you're betting on people to be afraid. But human beings, eventually they get tired of being told what to do. They get tired of being told to be afraid. They get tired of being told that this is how things are. You're expecting people to turn out to vote because of what? The fear of Donald Trump. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm not afraid of a Trump presidency. I'm not afraid of it. I know what to expect from it. And we have to be ready for whatever comes. But I am not going to twist myself or play tricks with my mind in regards to should I be worried about who will sit in the White House, who will sit upon the throne. That's not my concern. That's something I am powerless to stop. But Democrats, you were the ones that broke your coalition apart. You were the ones that told us all to behave or to be silent or to stop being critical of you. What did you expect? Do you think people are going to keep on coming back to an abusive relationship? The answer is no, they won't.